Ah! Hey, you beautiful Buccaneers, Falcore here. So the new update is just around the corner, coming this Wednesday in fact. So let's talk about what's coming, because things certainly look like they're heating up. Oh, God. So to kick things off, first things first, new accessibility options are being added to the game to help aided gamers, or just people who prefer an alternative playstyle. Firstly, all movement and camera controls can now be switched to either right or left stick of the controller. I'm not 100% sure how this works, but hey, they did that. Secondly, your camera can be auto-centered, so once moving it away, the camera will automatically reset rather than just staying where you previously looked. Also, you can now set the game to auto-float your character to the surface when jumping into the water. So if you don't know which way is up, just let go of your controls and your character will automatically bob to the surface. I love that they keep updating and adding new control types for aided gamers. It's one of the very few games that has such accessibility options such as this, so it's fantastic to see the development team put so much work into it. Further improvements are being made to hit registration within the game, but one of the biggest changes will be the eradication of a term called wallbanging. Wallbanging is not some sort of pirate sex position, but in fact a persistent problem that has been within Sea of Thieves for quite some time. In the game's present state, if you know the player position on a ship, it is possible to shoot through the ship's geometry and hit the player. This was never intended and has been in the game since day one, but now they're finally fixing it. It's also one of the main reasons people call people hackers as well. I know a lot of people have been saying,
"But bullets can pass through wood."
Well, that would be the case with an AR-15 assault rifle, but with a gunpowder and swab-propelled ball bearing firing against tempered wood that can withstand a cannonball hit, I don't think that is the case. It will now be impossible to shoot through the walls of the ship, but they've also increased the, how can I put this, gap awareness on some geometry. So for example, it's possible to shoot through the gap of the stairs on ships to damage people. And of course, lastly, a new type of loot and a new type of weapon is being added to the game. The ASHEN Winds skull. Although we don't know yet what encounter this skull comes from, we do know that it'll be a new feature coming to the game. The ASHEN Winds skull can be used as a weapon, a flamethrower. Those in its possession of this new type of loot will have the option to either hand it in untouched for a large payout, or use its new ability to burn your way to glory by cranking open its mouth and setting flame to anything that gets in your way. But be aware, the Ashen Skull does have a ammo, so to speak. It's basically like a really painful super soaker. Although this new weapon type looks very cool indeed, I'm concerned at its damage potential. If it's just average fire damage, this will not pose much of a threat. It'll be a minor nuisance more than anything else, which can easily be one-shotted from the player's hands. We'll have to wait and see what this new weapon type is like, and maybe some hints on the horizon soon as to where to get your hands on one. We will see this update coming this Wednesday on the 22nd of July, but please keep in mind that those are my Ashen Wind skulls, not yours, so please leave them at the outpost for me to pick up, or I'll hunt you down and sink you. Thanks in advance.